Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Bob Roig back with you again with another exciting client interview that we have on our ongoing interview series with Inverness Life magazine. This beauty right here, if you can see that. Our client today, or our guest today, happens to be those who are on the back page, the back cover of the magazine. So without further ado, let me go ahead and bring up our guest for today. So for everybody, while we get ready to pull that up, everybody say hello to Heather Walser of Lavelle Law in Schaumburg. And Heather, how are you doing today? Can you hear us?
Very well. I can hear you just fine, Bob. Thanks so much for having me. It's great to be here.
Well, fantastic. We're glad that you could join us. We're going to make it just as we always do. It'll be about 10, 12 minutes of fun. And so we're just going to start off a little bit by saying, tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you involved in the area of legal studies and law.
Yeah, great. Well, first off, I live in Inverness. My husband, Jack, and I have lived here for about 5 years. I'm originally from the Barrington area, and we have 4 kids ranging in age from 10 to 18. We love the community, and I was really thrilled to be asked to participate on behalf of the magazine. This is great, so thank you again. As far as what drew me to the area of the law, at the bottom line, it really for me, it comes down to that I enjoy solving problems. One of my kids, my daughter in particular, loves to argue, and so people constantly, she's 13 or 16, excuse me. And people frequently say to me, she should be a lawyer. Well, that wasn't why I, got into the field. It's kind of a common thought is if you like to argue, you should go to law school. I really enjoy kind of approaching puzzles or problems and solving them on behalf of my clients.
Oh, very neat. Yeah, I guess that would make sense to be able to put things together, puzzling it or piecing it and coming up with solutions for things. I could, that would make sense to me, that would be something that would drive you into that area. And it is funny what you say about your daughter, because I'm pretty sure as parents, we all feel that all of our children should go into law school if that were the case. So,
that's right. She's a very vociferous advocate for herself, I will say, but love her.
That's good. That is very good. That'll come in handy when she gets older. So
hopefully
is a good skill, skill. Well, tell me a little bit more about Lavelle Law. What sets you guys apart from any other practice that's out there?
Yeah, so first off, we're all, each one of us as attorneys is very focused in our own particular field. So, for me personally, I focus on estate planning and estate administration all day, every day. That's what I do. So I can really be focused in and up to date because it's what I spend my time on all the time. It's also what I'm passionate about. And my associates and partners and colleagues are similarly situated in that they each focus on particular area or areas of law, which allows us to really be focused and passionate about what we do and to solve problems for our clients. So our goal overall as a firm is really to be full service for our clients in basically any area of the law in which they might need to be assisted. And over and above that, we really seek to be trusted advisors and partners with our clients and to be their attorneys for life. We want to be the first call when there's a legal issue for any one of our clients because someone in our firm can help. It may not be me that helps you with, your trademark application or your commercial real estate closing, but one of my colleagues can absolutely step in and assist. So that really sets us apart, particularly in the suburban space, in that we can be full service to our clients, but we're still a mid-sized firm that allows us to be nimble and responsive and really creative in solving problems and issues for our clients.
That is really very, very cool. I mean, the fact that you're all specific or specialists in your areas, which makes you experts in that area, yet across the board, any needs that anybody might have, they can still call you and say, hey, Heather, this is my current problem. We have a relationship now. You've always been my attorney, but now I need help in this field. And you say, yeah, hang on a second. And you pull up one of your partners that's right there under the same roof and can take care of them. I think that for people who relish having a relationship with trusted advisors, that's got to be a big feather in your cap for the practice. So that sounds like that's wonderful to have that. It's a one-stop shopping.
That's right. That's exactly right. And I find it hugely beneficial in my own practice to the extent that there's overlap in what I'm working on with another area of the law. So, maybe a client needs an entity formed, an LLC, and an operating agreement for that business. That overlaps nicely with my work in crafting their estate plan. And for me to have, enough knowledge but to call in my colleague to help out with it, it really is a value add for all of us.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, wonderful. I know some of the other questions that we have, of course. And you may have already covered this, but just to draw on that as well. So what do you enjoy most out of it? What makes you feel like at the end of the day, when you have a really good day, what is it that you enjoy?
Yeah, well, kind of tying back into what I said before about solving problems, especially as a tax lawyer, we sort of have a framework of rules that we have to work within in accomplishing goals for clients. Yet sometimes clients come to us with very particular wishes or wants. And to me, the most fulfilling aspect of my job is really understanding what my client in particular is looking to do, and solving it and structuring and really, dialing in and drilling down on what the client wants and implementing that strategy, developing a creative solution within the framework of the applicable tax law or the probate code or whichever statute or rules are governing. If I can really figure out and get to know my client well and understand what they're trying to accomplish within the rules that we have, that to me is kind of the pinnacle of my job. I really am passionate about that, and that I love it.
That's nice. I can pick up on that just in our interview here today, that you do have a definite passion, a drive. You can feel that there are things that really make it that you enjoy doing. So I think that's terrific. Well, one of the questions that I typically ask in our interview series that takes people a different direction is, tell us something about yourself that nobody knows. But for you today, I'm going to ask something a little bit different. Being a professional DJ by trade and a big music aficionado, I'm going to ask you this. Can you tell me who is your favorite musical group or artist or style of music? If you had to pick one, who would you say?
Oh, wow. That's actually a really great question. So, when we talked earlier about whether, there's anything that sets me apart, the only thing I could really think about is that, at least in the pre-COVID world, I was incredibly passionate about live music. It's one of my favorite pastimes, is going to shows. And, we're so blessed in the Chicago area to have so many fascinating and cool little venues to go see live music. So I would say my taste runs the gamut. I love indie. That's probably my current favorite. Mandolin Orange is a group I'm a huge fan of. But I also have a child who is a kind of hardcore Irish dancer, so I love traditional Irish music. But it's hard for me to pin down exactly one type. But certainly anything live in a small venue is something that I love. So I'm so hopeful that we can get back to some semblance of normal so I can go see some shows.
Yes. That's I have to agree with you there. That is not having the ability to go out and see and experience firsthand. There is something to be said about a live performance where you're there with other people who appreciate it. And it's just a great way to come across a lot of different venues in the area and artists. To your point, Chicago is a terrific area for that. And that's whether you're in the city or all the way out in St. Charles or wherever you may be, up in Waukegan, it doesn't matter. We have so many great venues. So, well, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
When you had mentioned Irish music, of course, when I go to some of the more pop versions of things of yesteryear, groups that when they started off originally kind of as an indie group way back in the day would be Clannad. And then of course,
Yeah.
from there that spawned, Enya, who was, I guess, a cousin of two of the members of Clannad. So we love all
That's
those.
right.
So.
Well, and that's kind of a funny tie-in to recent months. So in light of all the shutdowns, my family, because there are 6 of us, we've spent a lot of time outside or sitting around our fire pit. And at one point, midway through the summer, somehow my children discovered Enya. So we had a lot of outdoor fire pit time with Enya, and I jokingly said it felt like a day spa, but not a very relaxing one.
Right. You have kind of both things. You're like, things that kind of
Don't really
almost
go
work.
together.
That's right. So, well, and you mentioned being outside around the fire pit. I understand that, and making sure I'm getting my details straight. Lavelle Law has 31 attorneys, 3 of whom reside in the Inverness area, you being one of those. Is that correct?
That's absolutely right. Yeah. So I live here, and then my partner, Carrie Lavelle, also lives here as well. And one of my colleagues who actually works directly with me in my group, Jackie Luthringhausen. So it's a wonderful thing. And we're all very spoiled because on the days when we are in the office, the commute to Schaumburg is about 12 minutes. So we're very spoiled.
Brutal.
Yeah, really terrible. Sometimes when it's snowy, it might be 15. So
15. It's an outrage. Yes,
it is. Really?
Well, I also wanted to ask, tying in the whole Inverness thing, how has Inverness Life magazine been working for you? What are your thoughts about the relationship and the advertising that you've been doing? How's that been working for you?
Yeah, it's great because we are really targeted. We love supporting and being involved in our local communities. And we've had a really great experience, and we love what the magazine does because Inverness is such a special place. It's just got its own kind of vibe, and we've really had a great synergy with it over many, many years. Many of our clients live here, and we really enjoy being able to provide the kind of service that, the high level service that we aspire to our friends and family members and people in our local community.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's terrific. Well, so my last question for you as we get ready to wrap it up, people need to find you. What's the best way to find you?
Absolutely. So bunch of options. You can start at our website, which is just lavelllaw.com. I am, of course, always available via phone at 847-705-7555, which is our main office number. You can always reach me there. I'm also reachable via email at hgwalser@lavelllaw.com. And we have a variety of social media presences. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. I believe we also have a Twitter. So we really are very easy to find. We also make it a point to be exceptionally responsive and take clients, prospective clients speak to an attorney on the day that they call. It's very important to us, and we are very committed to good communication.
Well, that is wonderful. Thank you. And just to make sure, Lavelle spelled L-A-V like Victor, E-L-L-E, law.com. And that'll take them right there. Well, Heather, thank you so much on behalf of Inverness Life Magazine. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. Really appreciate it. We're going to take the time at this point to sign off to all of our viewers and say thank you for your time. For those of you who've been watching us, thank you. I'm Bob Roig again. With me today, Heather Walser. Heather, nice to chat with you, and we will see you again in just a few as we head off. Folks, that's it for now, and we'll see you next time.